All right, let's talk about Monique. Let's finish today's story with Monique. Monique will not go away. She won't. She's been at this for years now, and there was some interesting comments last time we covered this trendy stuff that she's doing. There was some interesting stuff that I saw in some of the comments. I wonder if I can find those comments right now. Can I find those comments right now? Well, the sun is coming out. The sun is talking. Obviously, a few days ago, Monique is an American comedian. How old is Monique? I wonder. She's an American comedian anyway. She's married to a guy called Sid, Uncle Sid, Daddy. Monique was born in 1967. She's 56 years old. Wow, she's not that old. Interesting. I thought she would be in her 60s or something. Well, Oprah is much older than her, obviously. Right? But anyway, yes, Monique has been in the news for, I don't know, maybe a week or so, because she was on the Club Shay hosted by Shannon Sharp, NFL player, ex-NFL player Shannon Sharp, right? So, and she was saying a lot. I haven't really had the chance to watch the whole video. But what we also know that she was dragging a lot of people. She dragged Tyler Perry. She dragged Kevin Hart, right? She dragged who else did she drag? She dragged a bunch of people. She dragged everybody in Steve Harvey's camp, directly or indirectly. She dragged what's the name of this lady? Another comedian who actually made a statement today. I'll see if I can play that statement as well. But anyway, she dragged quite a few people. Okay, Monique was dragging everybody. Let me see here. Let's see. Okay, hold on a second. Monique. Trying to see if I can pull up that comment that some people had on the last some few days ago. Interestingly, I've covered her a little bit here. There's a video from 10 months ago that says Monique ended open marriage and this happened. Oh, interesting. That's a nice one. We covered that way back then. Okay, so I don't think I've released the shorter video that we did about her a few days ago. Not yet. Okay, so all right, so Monique basically dragged everybody. Oprah, of course, Oprah Winfrey. She dragged Oprah Winfrey, and she's been dragging them forever. Claiming that they want her to do what she didn't have to do. I'm seeing Chidima's comment here. I see people are tired because it doesn't concern them. She already said she was going to continue to talk until they apologize. Let her talk. Okay. Shout out to Gina Oye. Shout out to you. She's the one that Gina Oye made this comment. She said people are tired because it doesn't concern them. Like they're tired of Monique talking. She already said she was going to talk. She was going to continue to talk until they apologize. Let her talk. All right. Gina Oye also, she must be following these people. She said Oprah has been doing this for so long, so something needs to happen. Right, we're talking about Oprah. Today, we will not be talking about Oprah, just so you know. Okay. I'll talk about this in a minute, but let me leave it alone for now. She said, that's why I love Denzel Washington. Okay, all right. I love Denzel Washington too. I don't think she's playing entitled. She's demanding what she deserves. Oh, what she deserves. What she deserves? What do you mean what she deserves? What is the meaning of deserving? What does it mean for someone to deserve? All right? Deserve, I would think, also has some kind of relationship with earning. Earn. Do something or have to show qualities worthy of reward or punishment, right? You earn that reward, you earn that punishment. So I'm a little confused here with what does deserve mean. If you're there, you can enlighten us what you mean by that. Entitled is, I guess, will be more of opposite of deserve. It's like when you're saying I deserve something, but your result is kicking against it. Now, is it possible that people just don't want to reward you based off of what you know you've done, right? Yes, absolutely. But I think it's always best that other people speak for you. The market, ideally, we want the market to speak for us. We want the market to reward us according to our work, But we also know that, as we said on that last episode, women and being black can be a massive force against you getting what you deserve. But there's all kind of questions on top of that, But I'll leave it at that. It's a case by case issue, right? So my major question today is that is she a victim? Let's see what we have today, and then we'll take it from there. Let's see what we have today. Is she a victim? Because now the son is calling her out. The son is calling her out. And there's multiple videos of the son calling her out, but I'm just going to go through some of them here and analyze them as we go, and then we end the show with that today. All right, let me look at this one. This is the son talking, okay?
To address the Club Shay interview that she did, where she states that she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling our relationship, as I stated, is odd. My mother and I both know that is a very false narrative, and I would like to...
Let me lower that music.
So it's okay. Continue telling that lie. Faith without work is dead, and neither one of us cares to put forth any effort to reconcile with the other. We are separate, as she put it, because she doesn't care to be my mother any more than I care to be her son.
Okay, obviously all of this is allegations still, but by the son. One fact we can pull out of this is that they don't have a good relationship. That's factual, right? From what we can see, they don't have a good relationship, right? Okay, but let's keep going. But what happened there? Who is at fault? Who is not at fault? We don't know. We will never know. Let me just warn you. We will never know. Nonetheless, we're going to pull some lessons out of this, okay?
Neither one of us has had the desire to reach out to the other in a very long time. And I don't think that either of us anticipates that feeling ever returning. Speaking with my mother directly, in my experience, will either lead to some odd newfound moment of clarity in regards to how she was as my mother, or she retreats back to daddy to move forward with the conversation. And I'm tired of hearing my mother's truths.
He said he's tired of hearing his mother's truths. Now, Monique apparently has 4 children, but this one is from a past relationship. He has another son, then he has a twin. Then she has a twins, rather. She has another son, then she has a twin, right? So she has 4 total children. And her very first child, she's not in good relationship. But now, there's a lot going on here. I want to make sure I get through them. So let's keep going.
To address the Club Shay interview that she did, where she states that she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling our relationship, as I stated, is...
Welcome to you.
My mother and I both know that is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of having to continue telling that lie. Faith without work is dead, and neither one of us cares to put forth any effort to reconcile with the other. We are separate, as she put it, because she doesn't care.
All right, let's go to the next slide.
Newsflash, I'm not sure if people know, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble.
Standing in your truth doesn't make you noble. That's profound. That doesn't mean it's innocent. I'm just saying that statement is profound with respect to what everybody else like to say. Stand in your truth. Hey. And what else? It doesn't mean you won't collect. Let's continue, right?
Sure, people are aware of that. But responding this way, I feel as though it allows me to say my piece uninterrupted. To those wondering.
So he was actually talking about himself. He said, I'm speaking my truth. I'm saying, I'm responding, but it doesn't make me noble. That's what it seems like he just said right there. So some credibility goes towards him for saying that. Let's keep going.
Well, why say something now? Call it a form of therapy for me, I suppose. But when her daddy had intentionally stated...
He said her daddy. Ouch.
...that they have 3 sons, but his wife is on the internet talking about the 4th son in a video.
Well, he has 3 sons. He has 3 sons. This is another example of entitlement. There is an entitlement. This is an entitled child, or man, or young man, right? He has 3 children. She has 4, because he has no relationship with you in that capacity. No big juju be that.
That has millions of views. That rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, to inform a child that you are not interested in being a mother at a time when that kid is the only kid, that has the potential to lead a child to believe that you are not interested in them specifically. Newsflash, I'm not sure if people know, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble. But to take it a step further, you also admit, my mother had also admitted to me that she didn't do the best job that she could do, which would also make one begin to question, you know, all of your past decisions.
So if she admitted to not doing the best she could do, why bring that up, right? That is, I'm just asking. There's real reasons why people do that, right? Probably because they keep feeling the same way. Probably because they're still connected with that inner child that felt that way, and there are events that are still making them feel that way. Let's keep going.
Decisions and prior emotional interactions, but to be completely honest and fair, you know, those were things that I was willing to get over. You know, nobody's perfect, we're all human, but my mother showed a clear lack of humility, compassion, and consideration when taking any level of accountability for those things. My mother does a fantastic job of acknowledging a lot of things, but she doesn't take accountability very well, and anything that she may take true accountability for, it's only at her convenience, in my experience. But if I had to guess, though,
That young man keeps saying, in my experience, respectfully, in my experience, you know, I think he was talking about both sides. I think the statement is applicable to both sides anyway. You know, they all speak their truth. He's doing that right now, which is why I said I needed to come out this way, because he said just call it therapy, I guess, right? He said that, so I can respect that. That, you know, so as a human being, sometimes you just need to speak out to feel a little better. I just hope you have enough wisdom around you to help you do that within a controlled environment, and not just to a bunch of strangers that really don't care, that might even attempt to drag you more and make you feel worse.
her interest in being a mother probably started. But to take it a step further, around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, you know, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been. By that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, the the neglect becomes easier to hide or validate, I guess you can say. There are now 2 baby boys in the house, you know, that require attention. But still, during that time, however, I still watched her enjoy the love and admiration of total strangers more than my own. To this very day, my mother has never expressed to me when, if ever, she became interested in me as her son. That did lead me down a path of questioning my self-worth and struggling to understand the value of a mother in a child's life. In the interview, she also states that she gave me an apology, but an apology to a son from a mother that consciously showed no interest in him, holds around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, you know, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been. By that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, there are still women to this day that my mother will give credit to for being more of a mother to me than she ever could. Her assistant, my cousin, being one of them. Every time, though, that my mother would stay that she was right here whenever I was.
There's a lot of therapy lingo that this man is throwing around. You know, you know everything in life, including water. If it gets too much, it can actually destroy you. It can kill you. You know, everything in life, everything in modesty, right? He's throwing around a lot of probably what they probably have gone to therapy and they probably talk way too much, more than actually doing any kind of healing. You know, that's what I'm hearing from a lot of things he's saying. You know, it doesn't negate the experience he's trying to share with us. I'm just saying, at some point, you know, you're just hoping to pick up some pieces, heal, and move forward, and just appreciate, like I was saying earlier, the place that God has placed you in life is not perfect for a much larger purpose. But I get it. It might be coming from a privileged person, right? Yeah. I have my own mother. She turned 70 in a couple of, well, she already turned 70 in Nigerian time. So in a couple of hours, we'll be celebrating her 70th birthday, you know. So maybe I'm speaking from a privileged person's standpoint. So I can't really judge this young man. And in the same token, I cannot judge Monique, right? But it goes to tell you what I've been saying with regards to if a person is fighting everybody in the industry, let's not get stuck with the right and wrong. They can be right. They are calling them out. The wisdom that I'm trying to share with you will tell you that at some point you have to look at them and say, why are you fighting everybody? Well, let's talk about that too. Right? No, let's talk about that from a very genuine place, without judging you, without you feeling judged. Hopefully, you probably will feel judged by default. By asking that question already, you already felt judged. But let's see if we can get beyond that. Because I think the healing is behind that, behind the answer to that question. Why is it that you're fighting everybody? Right? Could it be it's something about you, without judging you, that you can adjust? Because now we're not talking about everybody in the industry. We're not talking about your own child. We're not talking about your child also is going to repeat some of these things that they've learned. You know, people learn what to do and what not to do, directly or indirectly, from, you know, the people that raised them, directly or indirectly. Because now this man has a trauma associated with the fact that he knew his mother, but he was also raised by a bunch of other people, which in of itself, you can't call that wrong. She was out on the road working, right? And he probably benefited a lot from gift and things like that, over compensation, spoiling him. But he can't see that, and you can't judge him for not seeing that. You're not going to help him if you do that, if you try to judge him from that standpoint either. It's not going to work. Let's keep going.
That ideology still blows my mind today, that a person could openly admit to being an uninterested, not put my best foot forward type of parent, and be so self-centered that they still express to the kid, you have to come to me when you're ready. You got to come to me for us to make this right.
You have to come to me when you're ready.
But I'm not sure what my mother could possibly think that she has shown me in the
past. What done?
Have for me now that's not money, goodness gracious, that would make me want to come to her or whatever those things.
Well, if he comes to you, you're probably gonna judge him that is because of money. I wonder if that's gonna come up later.
No, wait. There are still women to this day.
But I bet you have to shout out the brothers behind the scenes too. Where's your bro code? Shout out to your sisters and your bros. Some of them are watching behind the scenes or watching later.
Hey, that my mother will give credit to for being more of a mother to me than she ever could. Her assistant, my cousin, being one of them, supposed to be. A mother is supposed to be the first woman that a boy falls in love with.
That is Jambalaya Djiburibish from Therapy Talk. He's doing a lot of teaching and actually trying to address the real issues, right? And he can't teach anybody No matter how solid, profound what he said is, he's not in that place. What he's doing, a lot of it is just teaching and repeating what we kind of already know. Right? But anyway, we're pulling this up right now so you can know that Monique's issue is not just all about Oprah and Tyler Perry. It's not. Yeah, can we stop the cap already? It's not. Monique's issue is deeper than Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart, Oprah.
Stop the cap.
It's deeper. Okay.
I loved my mother very much, but my mother loved things more than she loved me, and she would validate.
He said, I loved my mother. All right. That statement is disconnected from reality. You will not be shooting a whole film addressing your mother if you still don't love her. Because people associate love must be, it must be good feelings, good emotions all the time. That's not true. Again, I'm a fan of therapy, but I think some people are just going there just to repeat themselves to themselves.
Her love for me by giving me things, and would proceed to call me ungrateful or inconsiderate if said things did not have the desired effect. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be her, though. To ask God for what you want, and then he gives you what you need, though, only for you to ignore it and have the audacity.
What's what you want? Is that him? Is he talking about himself when he said that? To ask God for what you want?
To ask God for something else. And I'm glad I don't. I'm glad I didn't do that.
Oh my God. He's
no.
numb.
Oh, you went to the universe instead. By no means, though, do I want to give off any type of an impression that I am a victim of anything. It's not the case.
Really? Try telling your face. Tell your face that you're...
Hey, as you can see, I'm smiling from ear to ear.
I don't believe you.
Supposed to be. I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm a dad. I'm healthy, I think.
Oh.
I drink a lot of water. I'm getting over a cold now. I still have my days just like everybody else.
It's a dad.
And
Monique is a grandmother.
she did teach me along the way.
The fact of the matter is that Monique is a grandmother. That is a fact of life.
I did learn how not to love from my mother. I also learned to make sure that I never lose so much of who I am that I have to validate it through another person. And though I feel as though, in hindsight, I think she did it reluctantly, I do appreciate my mother, for showing me what the top of the mountain looks like. You know what I'm saying? It did give me perspective on what hard work and dedication can get you, but I don't want something like that at the cost of giving up something that I created. I don't want
And what's that?
And speaking of creations, I genuinely, truly, I really did want my mother to have a relationship with my daughter. I even thought, I'm alive.
So that's suggesting that Monique doesn't want you to have the child that you have. Let's see if it speaks more to that.
That were, if she wasn't interested in you, what makes you think she's going to be interested in your kid?
Yeah, that's suggestion. She never said that, but that's what happens when you create this kind of human being, directly or indirectly. They also repeat the same toxic things that you've done. God help you, they have your same personality.
But it took my mother no time at all to prove that those intrusive thoughts were correct. But what I can say, good for her, the universe did, bless her with 3 other sons. Bless her with 3 other sons. And God will.
I would be interested to know if he has relationship with his siblings. Because if he doesn't, his problem is not, it might be a source, Monique might be the source, but his problem is not just Monique either. He's a grown man now. Yeah, you don't get to run around town and talk about that's the only problem you have. You have a ton of other problems. Okay? And every problem have a source. So, and everybody have problems that they have sources too. That makes it fair for all of us.
I'm sure that one of them, all 3 of them are adults now. So I'm sure that one of them, God willing, if not all 3 of them, will make her the grandmother that she wants to be. I still look forward, to that moment for her. But overall, when it comes to the boy,
That's some very, very condescending set of statements he just made. But I'm not judging him. I'm just saying that's what happens when you don't learn these things. Okay, you will end up with a sibling, a mother, a relationship, a personal relationship that will end up projecting out to your professional life too.
as though I am happy that whenever they do hear me talk, sorry, my phone just, they can't relate to what it is that I'm saying. My experience with my mother is not their experience.
Oh, I gotta go back. Sorry.
But whenever they hear me talk, they don't know what it is. They can't through those.
They can't relate.
That were, if she wasn't interested in you, what makes you think she's gonna be interested in your kid?
He's talking about his siblings now.
But it took my mother no time at all to prove that those intrusive thoughts were correct. But what I can say, good for her, the universe did, bless her with 3 other sons. Bless her with 3 other sons. And God willing, I'm sure that one of them, all 3 of them are adults now. So I'm sure that one of them, God willing, if not all 3 of them, will make her the grandmother that she wants to be. I still look.
Now, let me ask you this, right? Mario says what he said didn't contradict what his mom said on Club Shay. Overall, right? I'm guessing. Now, this part that he just said, did she say that? That when my other children have children, I'll be a happy grandmother finally. Did she say that? Right? Now, there's one side of this equation that we literally hear that. Even if no one said that. But they will hear that as a reverse of what he was just saying just now. Right? Because we all tend to listen to just the parts. Well, we listen with the side of our brain that works. Right? And that's the problem with talking too much. You end up just telling on yourself, right? Too sad.
Look forward.
It's sad to watch, nonetheless.
But overall, when it comes to the boys, though, I am happy that whenever they do hear me talk, sorry, my phone did something weird. But whenever they hear me talk, they don't know what it is. They can't through those intrusive thoughts that were. So my prayer for her and them is that they continue to see her the way that they see her now. I do also want to make sure that I say thank you to my mother for giving me life. Without that moment in time, I wouldn't have had my little one. But outside of that moment, there isn't anything that either of us has to offer the other. In my opinion, it's a waste of God's time and the universe's time for praying for something that you were not willing to put forth any effort to obtain. Putting the work into becoming Monique is more important to my mother than...
What you care about is what you spend time on. If you spend time shooting this video, you still care. You just don't know what you're doing. You still care. You just don't know what you're doing. It's as simple as that. Your actions are speaking louder than your words. Okay? That's the reality. And I get it. Your own emotions. I have to tell you, you can't see that if you're the one in the funk of that emotions. MOP, these kids won't listen to their parents, then got someone pregnant and expect their parents to be responsible for the child. This problem is bigger than that. Most parents have problems with that. They will tussle back and forth and they will eventually make up. They will end up falling in love with that child. That's literally how it plays out. In every story I've ever known, somebody got pregnant or they got pregnant too early. They will resent some of those resentments, some of their wahala during that period. The parents' wahala will be resented by that child for a long time, but the parents actually end up falling in love with that child. Remember the Ifeanyi, right? Ifeanyi, that's her name, right? The girl from TikTok, right? The mother didn't want to release the baby, right? After she's re-narrating what happened, what the mom said when she got pregnant, all right? So there's lessons on both sides of that, But I even think the problem is bigger here. Mario says she did not say that. No. He's saying a lot of things that are very condescending that, Monique responded. You know that. Because if they were just agreeing, there would be no need to respond. But emotions too will get people to respond, because again, remember, even if he said like exactly accurately semantically speaking what she said, she's still going to listen with the side of her brain that works and come and respond. It never ends. If the way we want to solve these problems is talking in the name of communication, because that's not communication actually, we're only going to, we make it worse. We just make it worse. He is well spoken, at least she paid for a good education, and that's a strong at least. But is he able to appreciate that right now? I'm afraid not. It's like, I'm not gonna, at the cost of something that I created. That's cap. Okay, your mother got mad at you because you impregnated somebody. If that's what happened, I'm not sure if that's what happened. That's pretty normal people's behavior, parents' behavior. How you conduct yourself, how respectful you were in that moment would also tell us a lot about where we're going. You're a grown man after the fact. I doubt if Monique sat down anywhere and say, I hate that you created a child. I doubt it. But he's capping, just like his mother. How's that?
Being my mother. And I do not believe that it was never about her being there and waiting for me, but it was supposed to be about me being there and waiting for her. My mother's value had reached such a low point in my life that I no longer found it necessary to either want to wait for her or even go to her.
That's word salad, man.
Like I said, man.
But you find it necessary to release videos to drag mom? Why? Because she was wrong? I'm not arguing that she wasn't wrong. But you find it necessary to do that, you still care about being right. Okay?
Well, you're right.
Yeah, that's the issue here. You're obsessed with being right. And for as long as you're obsessed with being right, your relationships will become less valuable. Okay? And it's not just going to be as simple as, well, it's of no value for me to work on it. No, it's not going to be that simple. You're going to be hurting. Okay? And you're going to pay a serious price for that. Because nobody's going to be your mother out there. Nobody's going to be your family out there. Not at this age, at least. In fact, if anything, they will continue to question your identity. This one that doesn't have a family. They won't say it directly. They'll just act like it. Because they have to mimic the way you see yourself, basically.
And I'm super grateful that she has the opportunity. They can't relate to what it is that I'm saying.
Time around.
Let's hear what Monique had to say.
What's your relationship like? Is he resentful of that?
We're still very much separated.
Okay.
And it's a
That's word salad. That's word salad. We're still very much separated. We sugarcoat the real feeling of what's going on there. It is factual. They're separated, but no, it's not husband and wife. This is your child we're talking about.
it's one of those things where you have to pray to the universe and say, let time do the healing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Right.
That's it. Let time do that healing.
No, not just time. The way you responded to this question would tamper with how fast healing can come. The way you respond to this question, your actions or lack thereof, or inactions, or your reactions, your responses will also affect how speedy you can bring that healing. Just waiting there in the name of we're just waiting, but then you run your mouth the first opportunity they ask you about your son. Like that's the wrong answer. We're waiting for what? That's the wrong answer. I want to hear something. I don't know what I want to hear, but I want to hear something else. At least we're praying. I'm praying for him. And the first opportunity I get, I'm going like something. I need something a little bit more than, not me need. It's not that deep for me. I'm just saying, you need something a little bit more than just waiting for time to heal. Time is not your mate. It's not going to wait for you like that.
It may heal it in time, and it may not.
Right.
And that's something that we as parents have to say, listen.
Right.
No, I don't want to say that out loud. It can be the reality. If it becomes my child, I don't want to say that out loud. It's something I would be ashamed of saying out loud. I don't want to say that out loud. Okay, it might be the reality, but I don't want to say that out loud. My personal opinion.
I've done what I could do. I've taken accountability for it. Now it's up to you.
No. We get to say if you took accountability, not you. No. I'm getting pissed off. Not really. It's not that deep. Right? No. But we get to tell you if it feels like accountability. This is word salad. This is just trying to justify herself. That's all that is. Your actions speak louder than the words.
To you.
Right.
That's like when somebody's saying, Shannon, I want to apologize to you. Now it's up to you
Whether or not to accept it.
whether or not to, but once I give it to you,
No. Once you add all of this to the apology, it's no longer an apology. Once I give you apology, you either accept it or not. On live TV, the whole world, you see, this video has like how many millions of views now? Like, no, that's not enough. That wasn't an apology already. We know now. And you probably can smell it.
I've done my part. And don't apologize like no punk.
And I'm not going to apologize like no punk. You take these apologies or you leave it. Let me show my face. You take this apology or you leave it. If you don't like it, now your own wala be that.
I'm just sorry for everything. That get your ass out of it. No, break it down.
Time around.
See, he did exactly what the mothers do. Therapy talk. We're talking about you. You don't get to teach. When we're talking about you and your own particular situation, you don't get to teach. You need to have other people teach you because you're a human being like the rest of us. You need to have other people help you. Not cool. Not cool. I'm gonna come to the chat in a second, but let me see. There's a couple more things here. You think Monique is just gonna let that go? Nah. Wait. Where's the video? Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. There you go.
Let's rock and roll, baby.
Let's rock and roll. The title of our conversation, or the theme of it, is called The Long Way Around.
Oh,
'Cause
Chia,
ain't no
you're right there with me.
Pickles, stop playing with that paper, please. The reason we're having it is a multitude of reasons, but we're going to start off with, there was a Instagram that was put up, or I guess
It was TikTok, baby.
TikTok that was put up by
My son. My oldest son, Shalon. And this is what I want to say to this. There are some people that are saying, oh, you should be ashamed of your mothering skills. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is what I'll say. Let's let it play out. Because the same ones that said to me, I was crazy, I was deranged.
If we're gonna let it play out, this video will not exist. Our actions speak louder than our words. If this video, like, okay, but I need to say something too. See, exactly. As long as you're gonna keep needing to say something, they need to keep saying something too. Guess where we're gonna find out? Look at some of the comments here. The comment says, "Blink twice, Monique, if you need help." Jesus Christ.
We watched it play out. So just like with my son, we'll watch this play out. And I do want to address this though, Shalon. When you say her daddy, then that's when mommy gonna say stop playing, because you know this has been Uncle Sid your whole life. Uncle Sid knew you before you knew you. So for you to say her 3 sons, yes, you're absolutely right. He has.
We go explain because no evidence.
Uncle said is this daddy. We didn't know that before. She had to come and explain it to us.
3 sons. He can't claim you as his son because he's always been Uncle Sid, and he knows your daddy very well.
That I don't have to explain that to my stepson. No, I don't have to explain that. Not in public, at least. Not in public. Jesus Christ. I already said that earlier on, but I can say that because I'm a stranger. I'm just covering something that's public in the public domain. You can't say that to him in public. What is wrong with these people? Nobody tells them anything. They're not learning anything anywhere. She put a whole video together, and this man should not be in this video.
And love that brother. And the irony of all of this is
Now it's going to Shalaye to Jesus
We
Christ.
go explain because no evidence.
Like, come on, man. Must you speak to everything?
I never expected it.
is not what is said, but what's left off.
Yes.
See,
Also, you want to say everything that's left out because it wasn't said completely. Everybody will always feel like something was left out. The leader, at some point, whoever the leader of that context, will have to hold their cool at some point and stop the bleeding. It's the first chapter in the Get My Marriage Back book. You're going to have to just stop. It's going to take everything in you to stop. It's easier said than done because you feel how you feel, right? You're caught up in your feelings too, and you're right, and your feelings are valid. But it's not going to stop unless whoever is leading that context, whoever chooses to lead that context, stops. It's going to have to stop at some point. So who's going to stop now? The son or these people? Right? Yoruba people say àgbà kì í wà lọ́jà kórí ọmọ tuntun wọ́, right? Once you have elders in the, like, come on, elders, the husband, come on, you're gonna have to stop. Somebody's gonna be like, celebrity. No, it happens to all of us in one shape or the other. You have to, if you claim that you are the leader or you have an opportunity to lead, you're just gonna have to stop. That means you have something you want to say, but you chose as hard as it is, you just chose. Sometimes you have to take it to your grave. There you have it.
you're leaving off the fact that the last time we laid eyes on you, your mother got you everything you needed for the newborn baby about 3 years ago. You're forgetting.
We could have predicted that too. Oh God, I didn't think that young man was telling the whole truth.
We go explain because no evidence.
I didn't think he was telling the whole truth either. But they have to tell us that he's not telling the whole truth. You know, the people in your life, when you come out to the rest of the world and you say they are lying, ask yourself at that point, what is the motive here? Am I trying to heal the relationship, or I am obsessed with my righteousness in these matters?
Well, you're right.
Yeah, but he's like, but that's not right. We should just say the truth as it is. Yeah, I'm just letting you know, those are the price you have to pay. You're right, and you lose your relationship. And sometimes you talk your right in, and eventually you can't really, the truth will always come out regardless, right? The forces of the universe will force the truth out at some point. We can tell, we know, we can smell. But if you try to help the universe, your relationship will collapse.
Sorry, yo.
About how I, from Georgia, am talking you through getting your car after we gave you the half of the down.
I talked you through getting your car. I helped you, even though I did this, I did that, I did everything I was supposed to do. I know you said I wasn't really your daddy. I'm your mommy's daddy.
Well, you're right.
It's sad to watch, actually.
Down payment for it, and you were 31 years of age, 32 years of age at that point.
That's condescending.
And I'm negotiating the deal with the dealer for you as you sit there. And you,
what does that have to do with the state of the relationship today? You did all of that, and the relationship is in a poto today right now. not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying it's not helping, clearly.
You have the vehicle you're driving right now because of your mother. These are the things that you're leaving out.
These are the things he resents, that you will come out and say everything you've done for him and not even address what he's talking about. You couldn't, because all you're hearing is how he's being condescending towards you. You couldn't hear him because he's also talking behind, like throwing shots at you and your children and your other children. Those ones that will give you the grandchildren that will finally make you happy. You cannot address this on your own. If you're in this kind of situation, you need help. And it's okay that you need help. You're a normal human being. You're caught up in your emotions, as you should. But you need some self-awareness with this. You're not going to help yourself. You're going to make matters worse. Because you do care about this relationship. That's why you set time apart to be recording videos for millions of people to watch. And they're not going to help you. I'm not going to help you either. I'm just helping my own audience here.
When you're expressing what you're expressing in reference to your mother, you're not expressing the relationship that you have with your father.
He's wasting my time. It's now 7 o'clock. Somebody says she has a good supportive husband. That's amazing. Go black man. I hope all the best for this family situation. They need to go on Iyala Fix My Life. Hope is a terrible strategy. This man has no skills. He doesn't know what to do. He's using common sense to wing things along. It's only going to get worse. I don't know. Did they say anything extra outside of just Shalaye? Chiye, tell me. They're wasting my time. Time is gone. But of course, do you think the song will stop right there? What do you think? He learned from the best.
All right, so I'm just going to get straight to it. Hi, I'm Shalom.
He's going to do 10 minutes.
So I find it unique that my video was in response to my mother and not her husband, but yet he still had the most to say, which isn't uncommon. I also found it unfortunate that my mother does not seem to speak on her own. The only two worlds that I know where...
We're not going to do this. Nah.
Explain, because no evidence.
I can't. I'm not going to do this. Let's just we've seen how this is going to play out. This is the Prestige family. We can predict this all the way to the bank. Okay, for as long as they keep talking, even if it's no cameras, they keep talking at each other, it's not going to end. Okay, and obviously there's at least one side that is right. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. Let me just go through some of this comments here, and then we'll call it today. I'm committed to making sure that we're able to get back to our families, right? Your wives, your husbands, your loved ones, your loved ones, But Aben says, I don't get it. Mother admitted she made mistake and accepted she was wrong. What else do you want from our MOP? She need to never turn that camera on ever again in her life against her child. How about that? We will start with that. If we start with that, all of us will forget the story. Right? The small things that we don't really pay attention to is what needs to be done, and they're usually behind the scenes. The Shalaye to us is making matters worse. Evidently. Time heals nothing. Time. Thank you, Jerry, on your coffee break. Time. I have hands-on experience with time doesn't heal. Okay? Time will literally pass you by. That's what it's going to do. Okay? In certain contexts, you can say that. Right? But just saying time by itself is healing. Listen, some people just go to their grave like that. They never mend their relationships. Thank you on your coffee break. Good to see you here on our live session. Daddy needs to go, quote unquote, daddy needs to go sit down for a quick second so Monique can work on her son's relationship. He took over the response from Monique. I bet he did. I couldn't go any further. This is America, and that's their lifestyle. Yeah, that doesn't disconnect them from the terrible results they are creating. We have to spell it out. Some of us do this. I have personal experiences with this kind of behavior. Let me just leave it at that. Me, I can't talk about my own issue. Okay? But in my own extended family, yes, there are issues like this everywhere we go. So I'm not sure what to mean by it's their lifestyle. But even if you're right, the result does not look good because clearly they're hurting, right? So we can see that and leave that at that, until maybe we can pick up the conversation again another day. I'm sure they will tell us more. Toby and Tribe says the first step is to stop discussing about it in the public. It will only make the other person feel defensive and feel the need to respond. Exactly. That's why the leader, whoever is trying to lead that context, it could be the son who has chosen to be the man of the house and bring everybody together in spite of his experiences. He would need certain types of tools to be able to make that happen. It could be him. It could be daddy and mother, right? That would say, no, we're not going to do that. We're just going to initiate some intervention and we're going to do that in private. It could be all of that. We've tried that. Well, keep trying, okay? Because you're not going to say we've tried that and now start doing things that won't work, that will make it worse. That obviously wouldn't make any sense, But yes, good point, Toby. The defensive thing is real. We all feel it. We feel the need to defend. I'm talking particularly in a personal relationship, emotional stuff, not just random debate on the internet. I'm talking about somebody that you really care about, and they make it, and you know that you know what you're talking about, right? They say another thing, you feel the need to say another thing. They say another thing, you feel and you're coming from a very defensive place because sometimes it feels like they're throwing you under the bus, and it's like you should stand up for yourself. And there's a decision you have to make between standing up for yourself. A lot of times in life, like if it was that simple, people would just stand up for themselves and they will have great relationships. Clearly, it's not working out that way in a lot of cases. A lot of times, especially if you're a leader, you will be presented with an opportunity to stand up for yourself or, stand up for yourself in a different type of way. See, I'm never going to tell you not to stand up for yourself, right? But sometimes your decisions are they are calculated off of short-term benefits as opposed to long-term benefits. That's a whole different conversation. Let's leave it at that for now. Yeah, the defensive thing is real. Afro-netizen, she can admit it, but use her actions to work towards building a new relationship by reaching out to her son and work on spending some type of time. Yeah. Anyway, she can admit to it, but by use that's a good point. The actions speak louder. What she's saying on that show, or what she told us she admitted to, but are straight. No, not because I say it, it's because that's the reality we're looking at right now. Yeah. Monique should go and write comedy. She needs to be funny again, make us laugh. That's my hopes. I don't know what I said. Trouble follows this lady. I won't want to work with her too. Yeah, thank you for saying this on your coffee break. So let's just sympathize with her for a second. Let's quote unquote have some empathy. Let's drag Oprah and Tyler Perry. They are wrong. They're taking advantage of our people. Let me ask you, if you have a couple of $1 million to invest right now, would you take the risk with Monique? No. Would you sympathize with your money too? That's the question. You won't. That's the part that Monique needs to pay attention to. It's not just that you're right. It's about the optics. When you're playing with anything that has power embedded in the equation, you have to also pay attention to the optics of what's happening, not just the fact that you're right. Most people feel like they're right anyway. Okay, I'm not sure Tyler Perry is not just straight evil, want to hurt you, but like a couple of people now, like quite a few, including your own son, there's something about the types of relationship you're attracting, and you should look at that squarely and at least make sure that it's not you before you move forward. And by the time you're done assessing that, you might just be right. But your result, from what I'm looking at with what your coffee break is saying, she's not going to be risking millions of dollars just because she feels that, let's help her. You seem problematic. It's business. The Shalaye from Daddy no get part 2. He went off on a tangent. I was so irritated. Thank you. See, if I had seen that, I would have stopped it shorter than that so that we don't have to go over time. But I mean, Monique is abokoku. All our saga stems from our husband's intrusion into our business. That's kind of looking that way, but I don't know the full context. But that's kind of looking that way to a lot. I've seen that statement in a lot of places, you know. But even from what we've just seen right now, it shows that he doesn't know what he's doing. You know, I can see, because if he's able to say, babe, we're not going to do that camera right now, and let me explain it to you. Just trust me. Just trust me. I got this, okay? We're not going to do that right now. I've asked situations like that. I have situations like my wife. I said, just ignore that. I just ignore that. But because she's heard me long enough and she's seen us go through this type of scenarios long enough, she knows to trust me when I say, ignore that. Ignore that. When ignoring is actually an action thing, right? So if somebody says something at you, right? If somebody says something at you and it kind of makes you feel something, there, most of them you're gonna have to ignore. It's actually an action, you know. Anyway, and sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. So timing, and sometimes timing is everything when it comes to this, right? There's sometimes you have to, especially if it's some kind of threat to you personally, emotionally, or something, sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. But what I'm saying is that a whole lot of times that people don't pay attention to, it's just a matter of ignoring, even if it's just for the time being, because you're looking for the right timing to say something if you have to, and you have to keep it short, sweet, concise, make your point. If you have to make your point the second, third time, it's not, that form of communication is clearly not working. Anyway, heal with her son and make comedy. Yeah, but where's daddy in all of this? When you marry a woman who has kids, it's a package deal. Daddy should have resolved this since. That boy does not respect daddy. Okay, now we can't force a boy to respect daddy, but you know, when you jump on the internet to shoot videos with your wife, that would do it. It was sad to me that due to him not having a good relationship with his stepson, he doesn't include him when he talked about his sons, which is very exclusive, and I can see how the oldest son feels. If I'm on a joint program with my wife and we have children together, okay? If I really want to avoid that, I say we have children together. I will avoid the numbers, because Yoruba people know this from a long time ago. They say, can count follow. Even Emeka knew to say that we don't count people's children for them. Why are we highlighting how many children we have separately or anything like that? We are grown people, we are 50-something-year-old people. It doesn't make any sense. But that's a wisdom from Yoruba people they can learn. You don't count your kids on public platform, especially if there's some discrepancies due to private issues going on like that. The people don't need to know. Even up to now, I didn't know. I thought she had a twin, and I thought she had one other child. And I thought it was the first child from before. But look at this mess. You know? It's a mess. Giving money, exactly, daddy should be the agba. Yeah, there's absolutely nothing. I don't know what I said. Exactly, daddy should be the agba. Yeah, daddy would be the ideal agba in this situation. Monique clearly needs an agba, you know, an elder who can help her with this decision, because you can see that she seemed helpless in that video too. Giving money and not a relationship is his issue too. Exactly. And they were basically reiterating what the boy's problem was. I don't even think that he was present at all in the first place. So the one that was part of raising him is excluding him. Shalayo. Oh, I didn't know he has responded back. Oh, yeah, I saw that. I was like, you know. But Ben said that man is Monique's problem. I would agree with that. And I want to do bro code with him, but it's not helping us. But Ben, it's not helping us. Okay? At the very minimum, he should not be jumping on those videos so fast. Let your wife disagree with you and say, no, I gotta say something. And even at that, sometimes you have to back up and let her do what she wants to do. Maybe it will hurt her, and then she'll come back and cry back to daddy. But you jumping on the video, what the hell is that supposed to do? You expect the boy not to respond? He lose God. He will respond. He will type another thesis and respond. For every time he has nothing to lose. And yes, he cares enough to respond. He still loves you. That's one of the things you have to figure out. Or you're like, this person is taking time to respond to me like this. They love me, but they don't know what to do with themselves emotionally right now. Let me lead. Let me get out of the way. Let me allow some time and look for the right timing, not just letting time go anyhow, right? And look for the right timing and look for the right opportunities. We're looking for the opportunities, the right timing to address this, because clearly this problem is not going to go away just because you're waiting. It won't. That's all I have for you today. I'm 15 minutes over time. I appreciate you guys for allowing me to be a little bit over time today. And hopefully we learned a lot today. I learned a lot every time I address this kind of issues. It just reminds me of what not to do, how to move. It reminds me, the reminders are very necessary because I have my own situations that still present itself where I am forced to move in power, move with wisdom, move with lots of self-awareness, because human beings will test you. human beings, especially the ones you love the most, they will test everything. Yeah, I appreciate all of you. Shout out to Latu. Latu says Daddy is the best thing that happened to Monique after sliced bread. Daddy needs some skills, man. Daddy needs some skills. What can I tell you? Anyway, shout out to you guys. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. Do me a favor as you're leaving. Let's do one final touch. Let's make sure the like button is lit blue. Okay. Thank you so much for doing that. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One loving up, we done enough.